Somewhere along the way, we are taught that life must come with a plan, a clear roadmap or a path. While maps are comforting, they do show us where to go next. And they feel the unknown feel manageable. The very idea of a map in itself assumes a known destination, while a compass does something which is very comforting. It does something quieter. It does not promise certainty, but it points in a direction, steadily and consistently, which is a true north. Even when the terrain changes, even when we don't know what lies ahead, compass tells us the right direction. It teaches you how to move through uncertainty. This is why we're living in a time where two generations are struggling to find their life's purpose in very different ways. Millennials are taught to listen to their parents, look towards stability, and choose something which is considered practical by the society. Survival came first for them. Expectations then followed them. And somewhere along the way, they forgot that their passions were postponed. Then there comes Gen Z, a generation which is surrounded by possibilities. We have endless opportunities, abundance of information, but it comes with a different kind of a confusion. We, young people, don't lack passion. We lack the possibilities of many passions because we have to decide among our different passions. Both generations, in very different ways, are stuck following maps which are maybe handed to them by the society or the ones that they are overwhelmed by, showed to us on social media. This doesn't just affect their careers, it affects how we respond to the world around us. And that is where I want you to pause and think for a moment that when we notice a problem in the world, we wait for somebody else to take a step and solve it. We ourselves don't take a step. And why is that so? I want you to pause for a moment and think of something that bothers you in the society, something that you notice repetitively. And now ask yourself honestly, will you take a step towards it? Most people won't, not because they don't care, but because they've been told to wait. We have been taught by the society that responsibility belongs to somebody who is more qualified or maybe someone who's elder to us. And this is where a compass begins to matter. At the age of 16, I realized something that was very unsettling. Sometimes the people we are waiting for are also waiting for someone else. That realization became deeply personal to me during the COVID pandemic. I saw families sitting on pavements, struggling to survive on a meal. They didn't know what the next meal would look like. And I was not scared of the pandemic. I was scared to see the fear in the eyes of the parents, thinking of their children going to sleep hungry. And I had no background in social work. What I had was awakened empathy and emotional response to somebody else's suffering. That empathy grew every time I tried to ignore it. Looking back, now I realize that my inability to remain comfortable in somebody else's suffering was my calling. Because a calling rarely comes alive with loud plan or certainty. It often comes with a sense of uncertainty, a quiet pull that pulls you towards a problem or an injustice that refuses to leave you alone. And this is where many of us struggle today. Research shows that nearly 80% of the people in the world are struggling with what is called purpose anxiety. It is a pressure which the society imposes on you that you are meant to do one thing that you were born to pursue, one singular passion that you should follow. But purpose anxiety does not come with the lack of potential. It comes because of waiting. waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel sure, waiting for permission. Purpose is not something that you discover instantly. It's something you build gradually through action. And when we release the pressure of figuring everything out, we realize that life's purpose is not a destination. It's a direction that we move towards. I want to tell you that if you feel torn between different multiple callings, listen closely. Your callings don't have to compete with each other. They can coexist. People with multiple interests are called multi-potentialites or polymaths or Renaissance thinkers. They are the people who strive with curiosity and variety. History is full of them. Leonardo da Vinci created seamless art, and he also was good with inventions. Oprah Winfrey created impact through education, media, and leadership. History is full of them. And this is where I want to tell you that life allows multiple callings. So don't confine yourself to one singular path or a single definition. Growth is evolution in motion. Like a tree which stretches its branches, growth demands that we outgrow who we were yesterday. That in itself is a kind of discomfort, but discomfort doesn't mean failure. It means that you are growing, you are better than who you were yesterday. Yet, we see that society often rewards predictability. We celebrate certainty, we praise people who stick to the plan. But in reality, I want to tell you that dreaming, on the other hand, basically disrupts the predictability of life. It introduces ambiguity, and ambiguity is mistaken for irresponsibility, whereas it's courage in its earliest form. Your age, your background, or your gender doesn't determine your audacity to dream. People often ask me, how did you know that this was your life's purpose? The honest answer is, I didn't. I trusted my intuition, which pointed me towards the true south and the north. So, this is exactly what a compass does. It doesn't show you the entire journey. It doesn't promise you clear roads or a smooth weather. It just points in a certain direction. And trusting a compass doesn't make you feel confident all the time. I have learned that trusting your compass is not heroic every day. It's quiet. It's showing up when it's inconvenient. It's showing up when nobody is applauding you. And you have to listen to that pull not once, but repetitively. And knowing that is its own kind of a strength. We follow our calling with courage because something inside us refuses to give up on who we were becoming. And every time you choose to stay honest with yourself, you breathe a little easier. You know that you're in the correct seat of life in your own life. And even if there are a few people on the table, knowing that becomes your own strength. During the lockdown, this idea moved to the reflection of my life. During the pandemic, me and my best friends were on a casual video call, and we realized that we started discussing about the contrast between stability, that we came from a privileged home, versus the survival crisis that the daily wage laborers or the slum dwellers were amidst the pandemic. The next morning, we pooled our pocket money and we reached out onto the streets of Noida, distributing masks and sanitizers. And that small step, taken without any certainty, became the foundation of what later turned into Warriors Without Cause, a volunteer-driven NGO not based on any perfection, but on showing up every single day. As we continued, we realized that help is not just needed during the pandemic, it is needed every single day. Early on a sanitary pad distribution drive, a girl of our age refused our help. She was not shy, she was just angry. When we asked her mother why, she told us that people come here, they distribute whatever they feel like, they take photographs, and they never come back. We're tired of being somebody's one-day project. And we just stood there, something in us shifted. We committed ourselves to consistency, accountability, and ethical responsibility, because to us, ethics meant doing the right thing when nobody is watching. In 5 years of service, we have successfully completed more than 3,000 drives, we've adopted more than 15 slums in Delhi NCR, and we've impacted the life of 6 lakh people, mobilized 2,000 volunteers who are of my age. Along this journey, I learned that education doesn't only come from a classroom. It comes from showing up even when you don't know the solutions. Every challenge became our classroom, every mistake became our teacher, and true learning emerged from repeating the same process again and again. Listening to your inner compass is not a one-time decision. It's a habit that needs to be practiced. We all need spaces where our curiosity and instinct are met with agency and not pressure, where questions are welcomed and not rushed into answers. So I hope you all also build spaces where listening is valued over control. Because when people are supported instead of being stirred, they don't just follow a path, they create their own. And this is how journeys last. Even after 5 years, we're still navigating. We don't know what the future holds for us, but what we do know is that we're going in the correct direction. And that clarity of a direction is enough for us to keep going. What became clear over time was that impact of service is not just limited to the people we help. It continues through the volunteer and the people who chose to help. Many volunteers who joined us didn't just participate in drives. They went on and created their own NGOs and initiatives. For this is how change really grows, far beyond what we can immediately see. Purpose multiplies when it is shared. People often ask me, how do I feel when I serve others? The honest answer is, service doesn't just change the life of people that you serve, it changes you. There is science behind this. Your brain activates feel-good chemicals when you're serving others. It reduces stress and it increases your overall life satisfaction. Helping others grounds you. It makes you realize that you are larger than something which is happening around. You're larger than life. So, as Mother Teresa said, I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone which can create ripples. History offers powerful examples of ripple effect of change. Savitribai Phule's decision to educate girl children in the 19th century didn't just transform generations. It was an act of courage that continues to impact lives. What truly made her revolutionary was this. We can see the evidence of her ripple effect of change in this very auditorium. The girls here, learning, leading, and being here are the evidence in itself. Time and again, we have realized that a single courageous action has altered the course of an entire nation. So, before I end, I want you to leave with a simple framework. One you carry with you long before you leave this room. Your inner compass offers 3 signals of calling. First, a sense of uncertainty. A reality you cannot unsee, something that unsettles you. Second is the pull. A thought you keep returning to even when life is moving and expectations take over. Third is responsibility. The moment the question changes from why isn't somebody else not fixing this to what can I do? When these 3 begin to align, neutrality is no longer possible. Purpose doesn't begin with certainty, it begins with awareness. And whatever your calling may look like, setting up a venture, working for a cause that brings you good, or even walking away from a stable job and exploring the world, possibility begins the moment you start trusting that pull. Inner calling doesn't ask you to be fearless, it asks you to be honest. And that is enough to take the next step. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew what I stood for. So dare to begin, dare to dream, and dare to build something honest and meaningful. And most importantly, dare to listen to your own inner calling. Because when you hear that quiet whisper, you are no longer disconnected from yourself. The question is, will you follow it? Because one day, somebody will be in a room like this telling their own story of discovering their calling because of an uncertainty that they couldn't ignore and the courage that they showed. And this is how purpose lives on, through ordinary people who listened and then chose to act. And maybe this is how a compass and a map finally meet. A compass and a map. A map without a compass is meaningless because it doesn't know which way to go. But a compass without a map also has no direction to grow into. Society often hands us a one-size-fits-all map. Get a mediocre 9-to-5 job. Get married, settle down, follow the plan. But your compass is supposed to be personal and it should be alive. Everyone should have an opportunity to write their own stories, no matter which generation they are from. And when you use your compass honestly, it doesn't discard the map, it redefines it. Your life's map does not have to be inherited or static. It can be created, revised, and redrawn as you grow. So let your compass guide you as you build it. Because a life well lived is not about following the safest route. It's about choosing a direction that feels true and having a courage to walk it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Anand.